Ladies, do you know why you yell so much? Do you know why you give so many warnings? Do you know why you threatening all the time? Because your ass too lazy to give a consequence. Men don't give out warnings. We don't do no yelling. We ain't got time for no threats. I'm going to tell you one time, and one time only, make a man instead of a woman. If you go to the therapist and tell them that your ancestors came to visit you last night, white people don't believe in spirit. See, white science is very what? Materialistic. If they can't see it, if they can't touch it, if they can't taste it, if they can't smell it, if they can't measure it, it don't exist to white people. We are the spirited people. You can't see spirit. You can't touch spirit. You can't taste spirit. You can't smell it. You can't measure it. But you can experience it. You can't teach what your ass ain't got. If you ain't got the ability to make yourself do what needs to be done, how you going to teach it to him?
It's gonna be Fred Hampton singing, don't to my lead. Bobby Seals, L. Hodge, religion pass, you repeat. We want some true leaders. Come on, say true leaders. Come on, say true leaders. Come on, say true leaders. Marcus Garvey, Mark, yeah, singing, don't to my lead. Bobby Seals, L. Hodge, religion pass, you repeat.
Only a black parent who loves their child will discipline that child. Will discipline that child. Will discipline that child. Discipline is the art of teaching your children how to do what needs to be done when it got to be done, whether they like it or not. The ability to turn off the NBA finals because they got a test. The ability to put down the basketball and come back in the home because I got to get ready for my finals exam. The ability to turn off the internet and get my chores done because my mama said I better have this done before I go to bed. The ability to make yourself do what you don't feel like doing when it has to be done, whether you like it or not. But the problem, black people, I find when it comes to behavior modification with you mothers and fathers is you can't teach what your ass ain't got. If you ain't got the ability to make yourself do what needs to be done, how you going to teach it to him? How you going to teach it to her? And so most of our people suffer from a lack of discipline. Sexual, financial, emotional, dietary, social, and otherwise. Nearly everybody you know and love either made it or didn't due to the ability to control their actions. Do you not know that the white man is waiting for your son to fail so he can strip from any opportunity of fixing his life? And you want to keep giving him second chances, third chances. I'm not going to warn you again. That's my third warning, my fourth warning, my fifth warning. How many warnings does the judge give out? And can I pick on my mothers for a minute? Ladies, do you know why you yell so much? Do you know why you give so many warnings? Do you know why you threatening all the time? Because your ass too lazy to give a consequence. Mothers always ask me, they say, Dr. Umar, when his father tells him to do it, he does it. Is it because he's a man and I'm a woman? Men don't give out warnings. We don't do no yelling. We ain't got time for no threats. I'm going to tell you one time, and one time only. Because the second time, there will be no negotiations. So mothers, I need you to put your game face on. Stop feeling sorry for your son. Because if you feel sorry for him now, you're really going to feel sorry for him later. Y'all, his father was killed 5 years ago. His daddy been in jail all his life. We grew up poor. He was bullied. He got beat up really badly 5 years ago. I care about all that, but I also understand what white supremacy will do to your son. And so I need you to get stronger on him. Make a man instead of a woman. I come into your house and you got Rashida and Rashid, brother and sister. Now Rashida is strong, independent. She got straight A's in school. She got an after-school job. No babies, National Honor Society, full scholarship to college. She owned her Gandhi. And then they go Rashid. Drops out of school, don't go, 50 million tattoos all over his neck and face. And do you know why you don't discipline Rashid? Because psychologically you have elevated him to man of the house status. He is your psychological husband. Not sexually, psychologically. And because you require that masculine validation, you let Rashid do what he wants for fear that he might cut off his attention to you. Your son is not your damn husband. He's your son. And make sure he stays in his place. And so then we have aggressive parents. They the opposite of passive. These tend to be the fathers. Their kids go to school, do their work, don't go to jail, they go to college, they're disciplined, they're self-controlled, they become everything daddy wanted them to be, except happy. They're some of the biggest undercover drug addicts, cigarette smokers, alcoholics, sex addicts. Oh yes. They didn't conquer the world, but didn't conquer their own damn demons. He's a Fortune 500 CEO. He's the top lawyer in the state, but he's also a suicidal person. He's beating his women up because him and his mother had a terrible relationship. So behind closed doors, he's oppressing the women in his life. Fathers, we do good with discipline, but we don't do enough with showing our children that we love them for who they are and not what they can do. And the other thing, I need my fathers to understand, you do not have the right to selfishly live your dreams through your son. If he don't want to be a football player, he ain't got to be one. If he don't want to be a basketball player, he ain't got to be one. I'm getting sick and tired of running into Negro daddies trying to live their life a second time through their son, and in the process destroying his self-esteem. And to that end, you need to be careful who you let coach your son, because a lot of football coaches and basketball coaches are trying to live their life through your boy. And so when he misses the game-winning shot, he gets derided and ridiculed, and his character gets assassinated, not because he missed the shot, but it reminded the coach of how many shots he missed in his own life. And then the third type of parent is in the middle. We call them balanced. These are parents who are sometimes passive and are sometimes aggressive. But the wisdom is that they know when to let the child make a mistake and when they need to step in and make the call. See, there's no book that's going to teach you how to be a good parent. It is an art that you perfect with your own children. Give me your kids and I might be a terrible parent. I give you mine, you might be great, because it is a personality adjustment that needs to take place. You want a simple rule on when you should let your child make the decision? Children should be allowed to make decisions. But you as parents supposed to do what? Engineer those decisions. So at the end of the day, they think it was their decision when it was yours all along. See, a good parent is a benevolent dictator. Ladies know what I'm talking about, because a good wife is a benevolent dictator. She make him think he chose the house, but it was really her. She make them think you chose me as your wife, but I really chose your ass. Let me give you an example. Your son wants to play basketball in college. He got 3 scholarships, but he want to go to some hood college where the kids spend 4 years of football but never get a diploma. So what you're going to do is talk to that boy and get him more interested in the 3 schools that have the scholarships. You're going to take him on a visit. You're going to arrange for him to meet with the coach. You're going to arrange for him to meet with some of the athletes on campus. You're going to do what? Engineer his decision. That's how y'all get this done. You got to be a benevolent dictator. Here's the issue. Children should never be allowed to make a decision that could ruin their life. Ladies, let me give you an example. It's a snow blizzard in Wilmington. It's 10 inches of snow outside. Your daughter's boyfriend came over to visit. And now the snow is getting up to like 2 feet. And he says, well, you know, ma'am, I live on the other side of the city. Public transportation ain't running. My mommy and daddy at work. Ain't no cab service in Wilmington. Can I spend a night on the couch? And half of us got here because of the damn couch. Do you know what you're supposed to do, mama? You're supposed to, let me tell you what we're going to do as a family. Me, my daughter, and you going to put our boots on, our hats and coats, and we're going to walk your ass back home. And then we're going to walk back home. And I bet you he will never ever forget to leave before the snow get too deep again. Y'all forget that y'all used to be children? Do you really think he gonna stay on the couch? You take the shoes off and you start tipping up the steps and hot cookies is cooking and he can't wait to help her bake them? Most of our girls are not getting pregnant outside the house. They getting pregnant in the house with the mommy and downstairs. And most teenage pregnancy is nothing more than a girl still looking for her father anyway. But if she can't get him, guess what? Any teenage boy can replace him. We'll get the male-female relationships in the second half of tonight's presentation. But let me get back to the psychology. Psychological incarceration. We just spoke about that. Schizophrenia. Why are black people more likely to be diagnosed as schizophrenic than anybody else? Especially if you come from the Caribbean. What is it about schizophrenia in black people? Schizophrenia, so y'all understand it, is a person who suffers from hallucinations or delusions. Now, what is a hallucination? That's when you experience things that really are not happening. If I think I see Jesus Christ, that's a hallucination. If I think I hear Jesus Christ, that's a hallucination. If I think I'm touching Jesus Christ, that's a hallucination. Because a hallucination is any experience, sight, touch, taste, smell of something that don't exist. Now, if I believe I'm Jesus Christ, that's a delusion. A delusion is a belief that you hold to be true, despite evidence to the contrary. Let me give you a good example. Black people think that they American citizens. Delusional disorder. You see? That's why we all schizophrenic. Black people think that President Obama, his last year of office, gonna put on some damn LeBron Jameses and some skinny jeans and a hat and start doing something for black people. That's a damn delusion. I want you to see the difference because we are a delusional people. We believe stuff that ain't true, no matter how long people have been showing us is wrong, because we want to believe in a dream as opposed to our reality. So let me get back to schizophrenia being more popular or more diagnosed in blacks. go to the therapist and tell them that your ancestors came to visit you last night. White people don't believe in spirit. See, white science is very what? Materialistic. If they can't see it, if they can't touch it, if they can't taste it, if they can't smell it, if they can't measure it, it don't exist to white people. We are the spirited people. You can't see spirit. You can't touch spirit. You can't taste spirit. You can't smell it. You can't measure it, but you can experience it. But because we a different kind of a people, white folks' science can't perceive our reality. So if you tell a white person that your deceased grandfather came last night and told you to play the damn lottery this way, he's gonna call you schizophrenic and give you some medication. You tell a white man that my sister passed away and she came and sat on my bed last night and told me to keep my head high, they're gonna call you schizophrenic because white psychology don't deal with spirit. But the founder of white psychology did deal with spirit. Sigmund Freud went to Nile Valley civilization, studied the subconscious systems of the mystery order, came back to Europe and called it psychoanalysis. Psychoanalysis is the psycho-spirituality of Nile Valley culture. If you ever get a chance, I want you to look at pictures of Sigmund Freud's office. It looks like the office of Naim Akbar or Wade Nobles. He got the statues of all the deities of Kemet. For what? Because he copied their system. Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung, even though they was racist, they attributed it to Africa, the origins of that great invisible thing that lives amongst all people. See, in order for us to be healed, brothers and sisters, we cannot use the white man's psychology. We have to evolve our own psycho-spirituality. See, the word psychology comes from the root psyche. The word psyche in African terms means spirit. Psychology is study of the spirit. But the white people corrupted it and said it means mind. So they study the mind. What the hell you worrying about the mind for if you don't understand the entity that is creating the thoughts that come from the mind? So now, don't go to the white people telling them you got spirits in your house. And make sure you tell your kids the same thing, because you know, in the African system, because the children just came back from the ancestral realm, the spirits deal with them more than you, because they just came back. See, in our culture, everybody living is a reincarnation of someone who used to live. So everybody in here is an ancestor come back again. But do you know which one you are? See, it's easy to say Marcus Garvey and Harriet Tubman and Patrice Lumumba and Queen Nzinga, but you skip over all your own personal ancestors. What about mom's mom or dad's granddad? Or mom's great-grandfather? Everybody in here got 4 ancestral roots. Maternal grandfather and paternal grandfather. Maternal grandmother and paternal grandmother. How in the hell can you benefit from your rich ancestral lineage if you don't know their names and can't call on their energy?
And don't look for permission from the Bible to deal with your living dead. Don't look for permission from the Quran to deal with your living dead. Because we was dealing with them before there was anybody called Christ, any Muhammad Ibn Abdullah, any Abraham, any Noah. Our spirituality supersedes every religion in existence. And you got to stop looking for new religions that give you permission to practice that old time religion.
Little kid came up to me. He said, Dr. Umar, can I ask you a question? I said, yes. He said, why do you wear them skulls on your wrists? Do you believe in the devil? I said, no, young brother. I said, I take my ancestors with me everywhere I go. And so the skulls represent the ancestors of my four roots. He said, wow, I never knew nothing about that. I said, well, your next project is to recreate your family tree. And if you have trouble doing it, go to AfricanAncestry.com. You can also join the African American Genealogical Association. And if y'all don't have a chapter in Wilmington, get in touch with me because I know the president in Philadelphia and we can build one here. They help you trace your ancestors and they do it for free. So if you need to reconstruct your family tree, start doing it. Because when I talk about military science, and we don't have time for that presentation today, but I show you how all great African generals in history, whether it's Yah Asantewaa, Queen Nzinga, Nanny of the Maroon, Shaka Zulu, Menelik II, every last one of them had a spiritualist who would divine for them to help them conquer the European. Why do you think the Haitian Revolution ultimately succeeded over Napoleon? Because Boukman Dada was a voodoo priest who determined that August the 21st was the day to start the revolution. Why do you think Shaka Zulu never fell to the European? Because he would go to the queen mothers and ask them to talk to God and help him decide which way to go. Your problem is you're relying too much on your damn brain and not your living dead. Raise your hand if your child is currently diagnosed as mentally gifted. One only. Why do we have two? Why do we have so few black mentally gifted children? I'm going to tell you why. Some of y'all heard me discuss this briefly on Hidden Colors 1. Mental giftedness was started by white people in 1954, same year as the Brown versus Board of Education decision to resegregate white children from black children. After the Supreme Court said you couldn't use race to segregate, white folks came up with a new idea. They said if we can't separate them because they're white, we're going to separate them because they're too smart to be in the same class. And so the mental gifted movement was born in 1954 as a strategy to take white kids out of the class with black. Now, you say, how do I know if I want my child tested for? If your child got straight A's and B's for at least 2 years, your child has pretty good attendance. Your child is at least 75th percentile on the state assessment. Your child is coming home complaining that the work is too easy. Your child's teacher is complaining that they're getting done too fast and they don't know what else to do with them. Your child's teacher is complaining that your son is ADHD. ADHD is a differential diagnosis for mentally gifted. The reason a lot of our boys are playing around in class because the teacher got nothing to hold their attention. So you write a letter to the principal. Mr. Montgomery, this is Umar Johonson. I would like for you to evaluate my daughter, Anissa Johnson, for mentally gifted. She's coming home complaining that the work is too easy. The teacher is saying the work is too easy. She's been straight A's and B's for 2 years. She's 85th percentile on all standardized tests. I believe she needs a gifted education plan. You write it to the principal. They have approximately 60 days to give you the report. You look at the report. If they tell you that your child don't qualify and you think they really are gifted, you're going to fax the report to me. I'm going to look at the report because a lot of white school psychologists don't like saying black kids are gifted when they kids are not. See, white supremacy doesn't allow the white psychologist to say that this black boy getting a free education from one of the worst schools in Delaware is still smaller than mine in the suburb, and I'm paying $20,000 a year for mine. It's a conflict of interest.